Zabunga 360 inMotion. Presents. Choice cuts. We are sharing Choice Cut, the excerpt, from the restream of the joint and collaborative project by the Red Monkey Talks and the Zabunga 360 inMotion channels. The previously streamed full content is the first in-focus main feature of the Red Monkey Talks show, dealing with the Penafrancia Fluvial Colgante bridge tragedy and related trivia. It is our objective to expand the narrative, finally fill missing details, and shed the light and information for many who were not around yet when the unfortunate event occurred. Based from the original text published online in zabunga360.net. This edition contains a revised, expanded, long-form narrative with additional, comprehensive and updated information. Written and directed by Japadupi under the creative and technical supervision by Danton Pascual. Subscribe to our channels, like our content, leave a comment, and ring the notification bell to get timely updates. When you like and share our content, you help increase the visibility and distribution of our posts. Your support will also contribute in a huge way to the awareness for others who could learn a thing or two from our content. This in-between dialogue I give way to my partner, to give justice to an expressive opening with feeling and gusto. Take it away.
Okay, we're almost there. We are almost done. Sharing the tail end of choice cuts, or excerpts, from the first in-focus main feature of the Red Monkey Talks show. We cap the long-form discussion with a short rejoinder introduction on the beginnings, and how come all through the years, there is a Penafrancia religious observation in the Bicol region, which centered on the Marian image in the city of Naga.
Thanks, partner. And I'm back. This boils down into us digging the beginnings of the celebration. And like you, we also want more information of the biggest religious and fiesta festival every September in the whole Bicol region. And, well, we'll be glad to share some of what we know. But first, here's our appreciation for putting up with us during the previous, and several choice cut excerpts and episodes from the long-form full-feature discussion. Thank you once again for listening and watching this portion of the Red Monkey Talks show on the RMT channel, or Zabunga 360 inMotion, right here where you are watching this. Now, for our choice cut presentation. The Penafrancia Trivia, and then some. The Penafrancia Trivia, and then some. Are we ready yet? Here we go. The statue of Our Lady of Penafrancia in Naga City is an image of the Blessed Virgin Mary and the child Jesus in her arms. We begin with Miguel Robles de Covarrubias, a Spanish citizen and a seminarian who studied at the University of Santo Tomas in Manila. He claimed to have experienced series of miraculous healings attributed to the stampede bearing the image of the Virgin of Penafrancia. The stampede was a reproduction of a canvas painting made in the 1690s, also of the Virgin of Penafrancia. The original canvas painting was based from the image found by wealthy Portuguese man in the name of Simon Vela, in the mountains of Penafrancia in Spain on May 19, 1434. Miguel was invited to Nueva Cáceres, and later ordained priest, by Bishop Andrés González. Miguel later became the parish priest of the Nueva Cáceres Cathedral, and vicar general of the diocese. Sometime in the year on or about 1710, he built a chapel made of bamboo and nipa by the banks of Naga River. Then he commissioned a local artisan for a hardwood carving of like image of the Penafrancia based on the stampede in his possession. The image found by Vela is now enshrined in Salamanca, Spain, while the stampede is now in the Penafrancia shrine in Paco, Manila. We have no information of the whereabouts of the canvas painting, though. In 1741, the first stone church of what would become of the beginnings of the shrine of Penafrancia was built by Most Reverend Isidro de Revelo, on the approximate same site where Father Miguel built the original chapel. When Spanish Bishop Francisco Gainza was assigned to the Diocese of Nueva Cáceres in 1863, he led the renovation of the church at the present location of the parish church of Penafrancia in Naga City. Gainza issued a decree on September 1, 1864, which institutionalized the Traslación procession on the Friday before the Feast of the Holy Name of Mary. That is, when the image will be transferred to the cathedral through a procession for the 9-day solemn novena. Then, on the afternoon of the 9th day, Saturday, the image will be returned back through the Traslación por el Río, now known as the Fluvial procession by the Naga River, back to her sanctuary for the celebration of the principal feast day on the next day, Sunday. In the year 1895, Pope Leo XIII issued a rescript specifying Our Lady of Penafrancia as the principal patron saint of the city, and its feast day on the first Sunday of July of the same year. 10 years after, in the year of 1905, Pope Pious X revised the order. He issued a rescript dated April 8 of the same year, granting the wishes of the Catholics of Nueva Cáceres, led by the first Filipino Bishop Jorge I. Barlin, that the solemnity of Our Lady of Penafrancia be permanently assigned to the Sunday after the octave of the Nativity of the Blessed Virgin. The transfer of the festivities from July to September has been the tradition being observed up to this day. A standing petition for canonical coronation made earlier by American Bishop of Nueva Cáceres, John Bernard McGinley from Pope Benedict XV, was approved on 13 May 1920. But it was not until September 20, 1924, that the image had actual canonical coronation as Queen and Patroness of Bicol, by the Apostolic Delegate, Monsignor William Guillermo Pious, held at the Naga Cathedral grounds. Unfortunately, Bishop McGinley was already transferred to California, United States. That diocesan administrator Most Reverend Francisco Reyes led the celebrations. Previous to the momentous event, a contest was launched in search for the right theme song. A Spanish priest, Maximo Jaguer, composed a winning piece that became the anthem for the purpose of the religious coronation. His composition was Himno, Allah, Nuestra Señora de Penafrancia, now also known as Riesuni Vibranti. Ever since, and up to now, the hymn has become part of the Penafrancia celebration. A Bicol version was written by Father Chudimo Pacias, with the help of Bicol priests Father Jesus Esplana and Father Sol Sais. In 1960, the first Archbishop of Cáceres, Pedro Songco Santos, envisioned of building a new and bigger church as a basilica and permanent sanctuary of the Lady of Penafrancia. But he died in 1965. On October 30, 1973, the Penafrancia Shrine was created into a parish with the auxiliary bishop of Cáceres, Concordio Sarde, as its first parish priest. On April 18, 1976, the second Archbishop, Chapisitu V. Alberto, delegated the responsibility on the construction of a new church to Bishop Sarde. The proposed site was a few kilometers away from the shrine, but on the opposite side of the Naga River. The lot was donated by the family of Macario and Irene Mariano. When Sarde was assigned to the Diocese of Sorsogon, Bishop Sofio Balsa not only took the helm as the new parish head, but continued the supervision of the construction of the unfinished building. On August 15, 1981, at around 4:30 in the morning, the caretaker of the shrine discovered the image of the Our Lady of Penafrancia was missing. Parochial Vicar, Father Juan Celso, confirmed on August 17 of the theft, as police disclosed the robbers sawed off the iron grills at the back of the church. The manto of the image and the steel bar which held the image were found on the cemetery grounds of the shrine. While the identity of the thieves remained or was cloaked in mystery, church officials ordered for the production of a replica for the 1981 Penafrancia celebrations. On September 1981, the new church for the Virgin of Penafrancia was finally completed. In May 1982, an antique dealer and said to be a Penafrancia devotee, Francisco Vicen, acquired a let that the stolen image was being offered for sale by a man from Mabini Street of Malati, Manila, while it allegedly was in the hands of a friend. When the information reached Shrine Rector Father Florencio Iliana, the image was alleged to have been moved to Cebu already. Sometime between September 3 and 5 of 1982, Father Iliana received a box containing an image broken in several pieces, purported to be of the stolen icon. This episode of the loss and retrieval of the image of Penafrancia was like a perplexing, unfinished suspense and mystery movie. For while a box was received already, why the need for Bishop Balsa with Father Juan Celso to travel to Manila and authenticate it and confirm the genuineness of the image? 3 days later, on September 8, it was revealed that the stolen image was found. In the evening of the same day, a caravan from Manila arrived at the cathedral and welcomed by devotees, despite the rage of Typhoon Ruping. It was not revealed if the caravan led by Bishop Balsa was in possession of another image or the image in pieces received by Father Ilyana, which was pieced together. Thereafter, a Thanksgiving Mass was held at the Naga Metropolitan Cathedral, in celebration of the finding and return of the image. While the image was acknowledged to have been found, the perpetrator or perpetrators of the thievery were never caught, identified and punished. The church officials were totally mum, and never disclosed the real tipster, or from whom and where it was recovered. It seemed the real truth was locked in secrecy. Any details surrounding the thievery, recovery and whatever behind-the-scene negotiation and concession on the retrieval of the image was never made public. Again, the rumor mill became preoccupied and incessant, that accused the partner of a powerful politician, well known for love of antique works of art, was the culprit in the robbery. Even as during that time, the strongman grip on power and conjugal rule of Ferdinand Marcos and his wife Imelda was already showing cracks, and on the decline, no one stepped up to inquire. Yet, Naga City patrolman Ronaldo Niula sacrificed his life in the conduct of the investigation in pursuit on the theft of the image, which did not get the deserved attention and justice. On May 22, 1982, the new church building was initially dedicated as the Church of Nuestra Señora de Penafrancia, with the attendance of the Archbishop of Manila, Jaime Cardinal Sin, and Archbishop of Cebu, Julio Cardinal Rosales. On May 22, 1985, on the third anniversary of the dedication of the new church, Pope John Paul II granted the petition of Archbishop Leonardo Zelig Azpi for the privileges of a minor basilica to the church. The ceremonial elevation occurred on September 22, 1985, with the Apostolic Nuncio, Most Reverend Bruno Torpigliani. And much later, the basilica was granted the privileges and title of a national shrine, stripping and overshadowing the title off the original Penafrancia Parish Church, just across the Naga River. Confusing narratives and dates here. During the Fluvial procession of September 19, 1987, the image of the Virgin of Penafrancia fell on the river by the embarkation point at Tabacu. It all happened so quickly. As the undods where the image of the Penafrancia was mounted, carried on the shoulders of the voyadores, has just arrived from the procession, and then being readied for dismounting from the undods and safe mounting on the pagoda, the voyadores on the boats received a signal to start pulling the vanquerna, which they did. The unfastened image fell on the river. The image was recovered with the quick reaction from priests on board, jumping into the river. The image was recovered, but the gold crown was lost on the murky waters of Naga River. The fluvial procession was briefly interrupted, but continued with the image without the crown. During the 1996 Traslacion procession, the manto of the image was grabbed off by rowdy participants of the procession. In the year of 1999, during the 75th Jubilee anniversary of the coronation of Our Lady of Penafrancia, the Confraternity of St. Joseph was organized for the formation of voyadores, to ensure the solemnity of the Traslacion and fluvial procession. On August 2008, the area around Tabacu embarkation and landing site underwent a dredging operation in preparation for the coming fluvial. The crew not only cleaned up and dredged the river, but also recovered the lost crown of the image of the Virgin of Penafrancia. Subsequently, the crown was verified by church authorities and authenticated as the original crown that fell on the river when the image went overboard 21 years ago. In the year of 2012, the event was recalled in retrospect during the festivities. The recovered crown is now permanently on display at the Penafrancia Basilica Museum. But, wait. Something doesn't fit well on the narrative about the image of the Virgin of Penafrancia's having been toppled off while being unfastened from the undods for eventual positioning on the vanquerna. For under the words of Father Alfonso Grajeda, the particular incident happened long before the Colgante Bridge tragedy of September 16, 1972. As a strong contradiction, he mentioned that among the priests who dove into the murky waters of the Naga River was Father Juan Celso, and a seminarian in the name of Nicanor Beliza.
During the fluvial procession, can you say some kung anong nangyari nun?
Okay, if you will again allow me, that was not the first tragedy. That was not the first accident about Well, they were waiting for the andas to come. And the pagoda was all ready. Hindi pa nakakarating yung andas. Nakasandal pa lang yung andas doon sa pagoda. They made a sign already and the music started and the buyadores started pulling.
Yeah,
And the bandas fell into the water and went under. Then I saw priests coming there, going under, and I could recognize Father Monsignor
Juan Celso. Yeah.
Celso,
And Father Villesa, he was then a seminarian.
Under,
Yeah.
And being able to get in
Apo.
the crown, no more kappa. So that was the first. I can't remember the date, but it was long-lived tragedy of the Colgante. That was the first one.
But wait. Something doesn't fit well on the narrative about the image of the Virgin of Penafrancia's having been toppled off while being unfastened from the undas for eventual positioning on the Vanquerna. For under the words of Father Alfonso Grajeda, the particular incident happened long before the Colgante Bridge tragedy of September 16, 1972. As a strong contradiction, he mentioned that among the priests who dove into the murky waters of the Naga River was Father Juan Celso, and a seminarian in the name of Nicanor Beliza. Father Juan Celso was ordained to priesthood on March 5, 1978, and in 1987, he has been a priest already for about 9 years. While Beliza was not a seminarian in 1987, he was rightfully Monsignor Nicanor C. Beliza and by that time, and actually have already passed away on December 2, 1983. Previously, Monsignor Beliza was appointed, among other posts he handled, the second director of the Naga Parochial School, replacing Monsignor Porfirio Raman, sometime in 1950, up until his demise in 1983. Some observers and those who hastily wrote a different narrative may have doused confusion on the details, or otherwise. Perhaps, there could have been two separate incidents that occurred, the first one which was recalled by Father Grajeda, and another later incident of the same instance, but both during the start of the Fluvial procession at the embarkation point in Tabaco Landing. But anyways, there is also some confusing details on the timeline and on the personalities mentioned. So, us here, will just leave that convoluted information, which someday will be clarified, and become clearer than the murky waters of the Naga River. On September 9, 2010, Archbishop of Cassiers Leonardo Z. Legaspi inaugurated the Porta Mariae, or the Door of Mary, a Porta Sancta dedicated to the patroness of Bicol. The commemorative Arch Porta Mariae for the Tercentenary, or 300th celebration of the devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary, was constructed in front of the Metropolitan Cathedral. The grand portal measures at 18 meters or 59 feet wide, 4 meters or 13 feet deep, and 11 meters or 36 feet tall. It has on its top the 10 feet tall brass image of the Lady of Peñafrancia, and 2 angels on each side. The main portal's center accommodates at least 8 persons side by side, while the 2 small gates can each accommodate 3 persons side by side at a time. Also during the Tercentenary Jubilee celebration during the year of 2010, changes were introduced, like a new and formidable fabricated undas for the images, came into service. It also highlighted the spiritual formation of the Voyadores, and reorganization of the Cofradia de San Jose and Guardias de Maria. It ushered the creation of the Joint Organizing Committee in partnership with the local government of Naga, police and other pertinent government agencies and stakeholders, for the peaceful and orderly conduct of fiesta celebrations. After the Tercentenary celebration of the Penafrancia in September 2010, the singing of the original Spanish hymn of Reswini Vibranti was revived, instead of the Bicol translation. We have to clarify here that the Tercentenary celebration of the Penafrancia in the year 2010 did not celebrate or mark the 300th year of the Traslation or the Fluvial procession, but specifically celebrated and marked the 300th year of the number of years of devotion to the Virgin of Penafrancia, having been started by Father Miguel de Covarrubias in the year of 1710. Because the observance of the Traslation and the Fluvial procession was started only, or can be traced on the date of arrival or during the term of Bishop Gainza in the diocese. Bishop Gainza, as we recall, was assigned in the year of 1862. and he himself institutionalized the observation and practice of the translation and the fluvial procession during his term. Or, to make it more clear, the customary translation and the fluvial procession was only instituted hundreds of years after the Virgin of Penafrancia was introduced in Naga City. Just so we are clear and on the same page here. All images used in the festivities and religious activities are replicas of the originals, which are safely kept at the Basilica Museum, meaning, the images displayed in the altars of the old and original Penafrancia Shrine and Penafrancia Basilica are simply the replicas of the one safely kept at the museum. The construction of Porta Mariae caught on with other parishes in the Archdiocese. Catholic parishes followed the cue from the regional mother church in Naga City, the Metropolitan Cathedral and parish of St. John the Evangelist. Main entrance into the compound of the parishes are slowly getting a welcome makeover as one by one are building or have built a version of their Porta Mariae. Just to mention some, in the Vicariate of Our Lady of La Porteria in Calabanga, 3 of the parishes have built their own version of Porta Mariae. This one is at the main entrance of the parish of Our Lady of La Porteria. The Porta Sancta main entrance of the parish of Immaculate Concepcion in Kipahu has a full-figure statue of the Virgin Mary atop the arch. Note the ladrillo design and color of the structure. The church behind is one of the surviving Philippine Catholic churches built of ladrillo, a national treasure as declared by the National Historical Commission. And here's another Porta Mariae in the parish of Finding the Holy Cross. As of this posting, so far, the modern Penafrancia translation the transfer of the images from the Basilica to the Penafrancia parish to the cathedral for the 9-day novena, and then, the return of the images from the cathedral via procession and fluvial on the Naga River back to the Basilica, have not experienced any malfunction or untoward incident, hence after. As usual, the devotees, enthusiasts and the religious get the exhilarating personal experience of reliving every year the same activity and invigorating enthusiasm and fervor for the religious celebration. The crowd is always swarmed with overflowing faith and devotion, and nothing more. Year after year after year. You have just watched the choice-cut excerpt of the Penafrancia Trivia, and then some more, from the long-form narrative on the Penafrancia Fluvial Colgante Bridge disaster of September 16, 1972 and related trivia. A joint project of the Red Monkey Talks and Spunga 360 inMotion channels. Previously, the original seminal text was published online in zabunga360.net. This edition is a revised long-form narrative with additional, comprehensive and updated information. Written and directed by Japadupi under the creative and technical supervision by Danton Pascual. Thank you for listening and watching this initial outing of the Red Monkey Talks show, and shared by Zabunga 360 inMotion. By the way, please anticipate for the last and final choice cut excerpt from this series. We wrap up the long-form feature with an epilogue. It is a short, very short postscript on Mila Obias and a short, very short retrospect on DJ Gladinor. Have a great day everyone. Again, thank you.